It's Monday. I wear red on Monday. Doug doesn't. We have somebody to get beat with a strap in Berlin. Or on the DA Raw review. Let's go, folks. Pitter patter. Let's get at her. So Doug's here. Doug, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm channeling my inner 1997 Dudley boy.
Fantastic. Channeling Internet Dudley Boy. On today's show, by the way, Punk and McIntyre getting a strap match in Berlin. Judgment Day lays out Priest and Rhea. The Wyatts attack the American Made. But today we're going to start off with Orton, Gunther, and Kaiser. Raw was
That
a hell
little
of a one.
prick.
What was that?
That little prick.
Yeah, Kaiser, he's a little special fella, isn't he?
He's a
Although
little prick.
he had a hell of a really good showing against that legend Randy Orton we all love and love. Uh, so Randy Orton versus Kaiser, the main event tonight. Before that, though, Randy Orton also was in the opening promo tonight, where Gunther continued to come on out and crap on Randy Orton. Literally crapping out, called him an underachiever. Underachiever.
It's funny though, because when you think about it, with the ability that he has, he really did kind of underachieve, didn't he?
He's a 14-time world champion. He's a former IC champion. He's a
Right,
tag champion. I don't think he
right.
never did he
And
ever
guess
hold the
what?
US title?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
he's a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not denying that. But here's the thing,
Okay.
okay? There was a period in time
Yeah.
between the time he lost the title to Triple H in
Yeah.
2004.
Uh-huh.
He did not get another world title until 2008.
Ooh, really? Well,
Yes.
I mean, he kind of did a lot of dumb crap in between that
But
time
that's
too,
that's what I'm saying.
right?
He went through a period in his life where he just didn't care.
Yeah.
And if he had actually just been whatever came out of that 2008, 2009 period,
Yep.
if we got to that quicker, like this dude's probably a 17 or 18 time world
So
champion.
you're saying basically he'd already be tied with John Cena and Ric Flair.
I think he'd beat it because there was a time up until probably about 5 years ago
Yeah.
where I thought for sure that Orton would beat both of them.
Hmm. It's interesting. You know, it's also interesting too. Make sure you comment down below here. Let us know if you think Randy Orton was actually an underachiever. Right? While you're at it too, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, folks. It's a small click for you if you're liking the content, large click for us. We thank you very much for everything too. But Randy Orton was definitely not, in my opinion, underachiever. I think he did. Yes, he had that little bit of a gap in life. We all have bad gaps in our life. God knows my 20s was like a blur at times. But hey, I don't think he underachieved. I think he did better in his later works. It's a good point of view to think. I think maybe.
It's crazy to think though that this is the best version of Randy Orton we've ever seen.
I think right now it's probably one of my favorite versions of Randy Orton.
Like
Still waiting for that heel
he
turn
still
though.
he still works as crisp as ever,
Yep.
as fast as ever.
Yep.
He's he's like 30 pounds heavier
Oh, he's definitely
than
a
he
lot bigger than
than
he
he was in
was.
his prime.
Oh, yeah. He's a bigger boy now than he was back
Yeah,
back with
he's like
those
he's like
feuds that were
290
going on.
now.
Yeah.
He's 290 now.
Yeah.
He spent most of his career sitting around 245.
Yeah. He like in his prime, he was like smaller, definitely smart. He's bigger now than he was in that John Cena feud period.
Okay, okay,
So
look, you just you just made me think of this. Today's Randy Orton looks like he ate 2009 Randy.
fair enough.
Remember what I said about Kota Ibushi last year
Yeah.
when he came out for Blood and Guts?
Yeah.
I sent you a text and I
Yeah.
said Kota Ibushi looks like he ate Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think Randy's a lot more fit. Um, re- re- um, So Kaiser and Orton and a really good match. Orton ends up winning. Surprise, surprise. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think anybody saw Kaiser winning this match. Um,
I thought that Kaiser might have won on the account of Gunther interfering.
yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough. But the end, but Ryan of going off the air tonight with Randy Orton and Gunther fighting, and Randy Orton throwing Gunther into a bloody post. So, um, I still don't think Randy's going to win. I just don't. But you know
So
what, though, we'll see what happens.
this doesn't have the same feeling that SummerSlam had. What was unique about SummerSlam is that Damian Priest did such a good job after the defense against Seth in Toronto.
Yeah,
He did such a good job of flipping almost overnight to this baby face,
yeah.
this kick-ass baby face.
Mhm.
And it was gaining traction, even though we've all known for over a year that Gunther, this would be his moment.
Yeah.
And so that being said, you know, now Gunther has his moment. Gunther has has the title.
Yeah.
He's not going to lose in his first defense.
No, he's definitely not.
Especially the way that they've built him up over the last 5 years.
No, he's not gonna. He's not gonna lose. So it's not gonna happen.
No.
Another match though announced for Berlin though. Moving on to Punk and McIntyre. Now I think we saw this one coming last week. I know we might mention it for Bad Blood a strap match, but we're definitely getting a strap match this month at Berlin, and it was official tonight. And I think the funniest line of the night was when Drew McIntyre says, "Have you started drinking?"
Yes. That's always a go-to funny line with CM Punk, isn't it?
Well, especially when you say to Drew McIntyre, look at the size of Drew McIntyre, and look at the size of Punk, and McIntyre holding that strap, whipping Punk like a government mule. Like, you know that's going to happen at some point. So,
well, see, here's the thing. My wrestling logic tells me this is where Punk
wins.
Punk gets his win back.
Of course he does.
And then they're going to do Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood.
Yeah, it makes probably the most sense right now. It's definitely going to be how those two in Hell in a Cell. There's no way it's not going to be those two in Hell in a Cell.
We were both speculating last week that it was going to be a strap match.
Yeah, well, I think we mentioned Hell in a Cell. You mentioned strap match possibly at Bad Blood. But you said no. Your words exactly were, why couldn't it be a strap match? Why does it have to be Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood?
True.
So, you know what? Either way,
this is becoming a really rather large card, isn't it?
Well, let's see. Well, we're probably not going to get the Roman Reigns stuff, so that's probably not going to happen. So you're going to get Gunther, Randy. We're getting Punk Drew in a strap match. We're getting we're getting to our next story. Judgment Day lays out Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest leading into their match.
They needed this so bad.
What is that?
They needed this so bad.
They did. And we're getting that match at Berlin too. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. You know what? I probably should have saw this one coming, but I didn't really see it because I was a little busy with other things going on. But when Dominic announced he's gonna, like, if he wants to face Priest tonight on Raw, I didn't really clue into me that this was gonna happen because I was kind of busy doing a lot of other things. But they jumped Priest from the get-go. Match didn't even get started. So, I mean, Dom was standing in the ring. Priest basically took, I mean, they kind of like the Judgment Day needed this badly. You're right. But Priest made him also look really silly too by taking them all out on the outside of the ring before getting in the ring against Dom. Like,
yeah.
Luckily, they all came back.
Yeah. So the reason why I say they needed this so bad, because the last 2 weeks on Raw, Damian and Rhea have laid them all out.
Yeah, it made him look silly as hell.
Yeah. So the Judgment Day needed some heat back.
Yep.
And this was a very convincing, good looking beatdown.
Yep.
Although maybe they should watch SmackDown once in a while and realize that Solo just did this with Cody Rhodes 3 weeks ago.
Funny part is, I was thinking the exact same thing when I watched it back.
Yeah.
I thought the exact same thing. It's the same. I go, especially the part, like the pure part where they were holding Cody while he dismantled Randy. I'm like, this looks oddly familiar.
Yes.
I'm like, it's just this time they're holding like Rhea got dismantled by Liv. You know, like it was good. I mean, kind of Rhea kind of had to take one of those things too because she's kind of beat the hell out of people, but laying them both out the way they did,
I like how she went back to the shoulder
that's
that
true.
was dislocated at SummerSlam.
We're loving the callbacks here, by the way.
So that's what I really enjoy about Triple H's style of booking
Yeah,
is it makes you pay attention.
which
If
I
you're if you're not watching every week, you're gonna miss stuff.
well, that's just it. It's not like in the old days where they would show highlights from scenes from like superstars that happened 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago anymore. They don't really do that anymore. They kind of do a quick recap of Raw to start the series started, just like they do on SmackDown, do a quick recap, but they don't tell you everything that went on really last week. They kind of show you the big parts, right? So that's kind of really
The
good that they're
main the
doing this.
main angle on the show is
Yeah,
what they'll show you.
exactly. So it's really good here. Like I still see Rhea and Priest winning this. I mean, it's possible that Dom and Liv are going to win this match, but I kind of see Priest and Rhea winning it though. I mean, we'll have predictions sometime next week, but this is looking like it's probably gonna be Rhea and Liv win, but we'll find out with the wrestling logic on next Monday's Raw what happens.
Yeah, we'll see who stands tall next Monday.
We really will. Although, you know who wasn't standing tall tonight? American Made, who
No.
introduced Ivy Nile, and they got laid out by the Wyatts. All of them.
And most importantly, out of this whole thing,
Yeah,
we're finally getting the in-ring debut of Uncle Howdy
that's gonna be fun.
next week.
That is a lot of fun.
Bo Dallas with his first match in WWE in like 5 years.
Yeah, and how we got to this too was Ivy Nile was facing Maxine Dupree. Before that, Chad Gable was so happy to have Ivy Nile in the group. She's so happy. Although Maxine Dupree had a good showing, she came out looking strong at the get go. And then the Wyatt showed up. More specifically, Abigail showed up, or Nikki Cross. That's when
And you know
everything
what?
changed.
Okay, so I said a number of weeks ago I wasn't going to judge this till we start seeing some shit in the ring.
Yeah.
So now I've seen some shit in the ring.
Okay,
Okay, so here we go.
sure. Let's go.
I love the fact, first of all, that they're not conforming to these characters. Like Dexter Loomis isn't Buzzard,
Yeah,
isn't Mercy,
yeah,
and Joe Gacy isn't Huskus,
yeah.
and you know, uh, Eric
Red
Rowan,
is
Eric
Rambling Rabbit.
Rowan isn't Ramblin' Rabbit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but they're actually using their superstar names that people know them by.
Which is cool.
Right. And the vignettes did a really good job of doing that.
Yeah. I find it's almost like
I
they're like AKA Rambling Rabbit.
I love that trio of Rowan, Gacy, and Loomis together.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
And fantastic showing.
Yeah.
And the beatdown they put on tonight,
Yeah.
that looked crisp as fuck. And then Bo popping up out of nowhere to drop Gable
Yeah.
with Sister Abigail.
That was a lot of fun.
So good.
It was really good. and they're
Yeah.
really taking off. It's good to see that like these guys are getting the chance they deserve. Under the delusional man that we used to have there at the helm, this never would have happened.
Oh.
But under this new regime, with Netflix, with The Rock and part of the board, with Triple H at the helm of creative, we're really seeing what the evolution of WWE actually is. Moving really from like a lot of wrestling, but moving also with the form of sports entertainment, whereas Vince just wanted just sports entertainment.
Yeah, they're making the wrestling matter again.
Yeah, like they
Um,
used to.
but that's the thing. They're also producing like Emmy-worthy fucking stories too.
Yeah, like every story I find myself very intrigued with. Like a lot of stories. I mean, obviously the biggest ones obviously is the bloodline story. That's the biggest one of everybody. That's hard to top that.
That's gonna be Triple
That's
H's crowning achievement.
that literally is well, that's actually well, technically that started with Vince. Technically. But Triple H took over and has made a masterpiece over the past year and a half, 2 years.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I find it way as very intriguing part. Like I said, I'm very intrigued with the whole Judgment Day storyline, right? It's like like if you name some of the biggest shows, you can almost compare them, right? Like the Bloodline storyline is like the equivalent to say like The Walking Dead. It's like a big, huge story that people like love, right? Then you have these other stories, right? They compare it to other shows, or like one might be compared to like say ER or whatever, right? Like whatever. You know what I mean? Like just shows. Like so you have
I
all
understand your analogy.
yeah, you have your favorite, then you have like your second favorite, third favorite. So it's like it's a lot of fun. It's really good too. But you know what's not really cool right now? That we called something last week that did not come to fruition. And that was Woods turning on the New Day. But he seemed really disappointed though.
It's coming.
It totally is. We said it last week that we thought it was gonna happen this week. It was almost a
Fuck.
guarantee, we thought.
That would have been the perfect match to do it too.
Yeah.
Unless they're gonna try and get Woods away from the Final Testament
Yeah.
and then turn him.
I have no idea. But honestly,
Because
Joe,
it doesn't benefit Woods
no.
to
But
turn, leave one group and go to another.
no. But they really point out the fact this week in that match with the Aussie Joe with New Day and Aussie Jones versus the Final Testament. They point out a lot that Woods has never won a singles title. They don't consider King of the Ring a title.
No,
So it's like
it's not.
no,
It's an accolade, but
it's
it's
an
not a
accolade, yeah.
title.
So he's never won an actual title. Where they mentioned off Kofi, Big E, what they've done as singles, right? Woods has
That's
never
not
done this.
fair.
No, but they really pushed that point today.
I know.
So
As a part of the New Day, look, both Kofi and Big E were WWE champion.
yeah,
Big E was also Intercontinental champion
yeah.
since being a part of the New Day.
Mhm.
But when you think about it, like Kofi had like 10 or 11 title reigns before he even joined the New Day.
Yeah, he was already an IC champion, US
He won the
champion, I
IC
believe.
title 3 or 4 times. He was
Yeah.
the US champ a few times. He was tag team champions a handful of times.
Yeah, he was tag team champion once CM Punk.
I know. And actually, very quick, funny story
Yeah.
about that. Okay.
Yeah.
I went to a house show in 2008 in Hamilton,
Yep.
Cops Coliseum, or First Ontario Center.
It's cops.
It is Cops, but for those that
Who are
want to
newer,
look up this
yes.
place, it's First Ontario Center.
Yeah.
Um, and at that show was when Kofi and CM Punk lost the tag team titles to Miz and Morrison.
Ah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That man,
I was sitting on the floor, row 12.
that's hilarious.
Yep. Good seats too. It's like $75.
Oh, nice. Oh, that was back in the day. Uh, But yeah, we're looking for this. It's coming soon. We gotta think definitely coming soon. Like, there's no way it's not gonna happen. Think it's gonna happen before Berlin, like next week on Raw, or you think we're really wait till after Berlin?
No, they're probably going to do it after Berlin, but
Yeah,
because there's no match with this feud
yeah,
on the pay-per-view.
yeah.
If there was a match for this feud on the pay-per-view, I would say you're going to do it
In
at
Berlin.
Berlin.
Yeah, that makes the most sense then.
But I
Uh,
could see them now letting this chill for a week.
yep.
And then after Berlin, that's how you close, not close the show, but that's a major angle you can shoot on the show.
For sure. The Raw after a pay per view.
Bingo.
Bronson Reed has a new challenger, and it's the return of Braun Strowman. Like,
Is it a return though? Because I
well,
mean, yeah, he hasn't been on TV in a couple of weeks, but
I shouldn't say return. I should more or less say just like screw it, call return. Call it just like just showed up, right? Bronson Reed in a DQ match, no DQ match against the Miz. He just dominated the Miz the entire time. Miz just getting thrown around most of the time in this match. Go through tables and all those things. Gets tsunamied once, goes for a second time. Strowman shows up. So we're gonna get two big meat slappers going at it.
next
Some
week,
people like big meat slapping, and we're
like
gonna get
Biggie,
that. Like Biggie, we're gonna slap
big
that thing
meaty
up.
men slapping meat.
Big meaty men slapping each other. That's gonna be a fun match. I gotta think that Braun Strowman's gonna lose and Bronson Reed's gonna win, and that's how they're gonna push further Bronson Reed down up the card. I think
Because now with Braun Strowman, he's a he's a former Universal Champion.
Yep,
Yes, he took out Seth, but he didn't beat Seth.
that's true.
Yeah,
It's true. He didn't beat
yeah,
Seth at
well,
all.
Miz is a former WWE champion too, but
Yeah, former two-time Grand Slam
right,
champion.
right. Strowman is now somebody his size that's a former Universal Champion.
Yep.
And then if Seth comes, when Seth comes back and you have that match with Bronson,
Yeah.
um, Bronson's going to be built up like this is like Mark Henry 2010.
Okay. I can see where you're going with this.
Yeah, that's like Mark Henry 2010.
Yeah.
Start the year, just start beating dudes up.
Yep.
When he switched that Hall of Pain gimmick,
Yeah.
and he just started beating up Kane, and then he started beating up Big Show.
Yeah.
Right.
It led to a fairly decent run as a world champion too.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And I think you can do that with a guy like Bronson Reed.
yeah, of course you can. I think Bronson Reed is a. I think Bronson Reed is a future champion somewhere. I just don't know when and when. I couldn't tell you.
You
Yeah,
realize this man has beaten Kazuchika Okada, right?
yeah. In New Japan.
Speaking of that, Zack Sabre Jr. won the G1.
Oh, nice,
He defeated Yota Tsuji in the final.
nice.
Yota Tsuji defeating um, Konosuke Takeshita
Oh,
in the semis, and um, Zack Sabre Jr. got to the final by defeating Shingo Takagi, who beat Hiroki Goto
oh, nice,
um, in the finals of the A block.
nice.
So I will say though, you had breakout performances in the G1 like you usually do every year.
Yeah.
Uh, Keshka, Gabe Kidd is one to watch.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously Zack Sabre Jr. Has been killing it for years over there.
Mhm.
But yeah, so now Zack Sabre Jr. will face whoever the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion is January 5th, or sorry, no, January 4th
Yeah,
in the Tokyo Dome.
nice. Fun to see. What also was fun to do, surprisingly enough, was the women's tag team triple threat match was pretty good tonight, actually.
That was way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I'm really glad Fire and Dawn won. I mean, just setting up for next week on SmackDown anyway, so I didn't think they're gonna. Sorry, this week on SmackDown anyway, and for that three-way match they're gonna have anyway with Blair Davenport with them against Cargill and Naomi. But you know what? It was good they won. I'm still not sold on the name PF Pure Fusion Control. So that's still that. Damage Control is looking very babyface like, and which is good. I'm okay with that.
So that's what I was going to mention. I said, like when we were talking about Damian Priest,
Yeah,
yeah, weren't damage control like heels like literally like 3 weeks ago?
I think so. Yeah, they've really started to change in their dynamic because I think people just don't like Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville at all. So they just kind of cheer for the people who are opposite of them.
True.
True. And last bit of thing on Raw tonight. We're getting ourselves a tag an IC title tournament to see who faces Braun Breaker and gets destroyed by him.
Yep.
Looking forward to this. Starts next week.
And Jey Uso will be a part of it.
Jay's not winning. If he's not winning the IC title,
You don't think you don't think he's winning the tournament?
I don't think he's well. I mean, if he wins the tournament, that's fine. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to beat Braun Breaker. Not if you're going. I mean, he may, unless
Not this early.
no, not this early because you already stated too that he's going to probably win the tag titles with Sami Zayn. Sammy's probably going to be in that tournament.
I don't know. Sammy was not there this week,
No,
selling the effects of that 2 out of 3 falls match last week.
yeah.
There
Oh,
is one more thing to touch on.
there is one more. Yeah, there is. I didn't even touch on it yet. It is Sheamus and Pete
Sheamus,
Dunne.
yeah, Sheamus and Pete Dunne, really good match as it should be.
Yeah,
Um, I don't like Sheamus winning here with the busted hand.
I didn't like the win either. I thought the win should have went to Pete Dunne. I really
It's not like it to me, it's not like a oh, they're misusing him or anything like that. No.
no.
But I think unless the plan is to have Pete Dunne eventually go over in this feud,
Yeah,
like I don't know why Sheamus wins this match
no.
when he's at the disadvantage.
I thought Sheamus winning this match was, I think, just a bad call. I feel that Pete Dunne winning would do more, would do probably more for him. Sheamus at the same time too can eat the pin. It doesn't
It's
matter.
not it's not even like that it'll do more for him when you think of the story.
Yeah.
And like maybe the story is, Pete Dunne eventually gets his revenge. And that's why he goes over in this story. But
Or is it okay? Well, let me ask you this then: is
so
it possible that Sheamus is coming to the end of his career, and Pete's the one that's going to retire, and that's how this whole story ends?
it could, but I could also see Sheamus making one last crack at winning the IC title.
You think he wins that? Then this goes off in the sunset and sits down.
I think that Sheamus maybe has a year left in him.
Yeah, I think injuries enough because Sheamus for the past number of years has been injury plagued,
Oh yeah.
like by a lot. It's not just like it's like he gets injured, then like he goes away for like 6 months. It's like injured for a fair amount of time and then comes back and then gets injured again.
Oh, I know.
So it's not like it's like
So he was off. He was off getting neck surgery
yeah.
after the Edge match last year.
I think he's on borrowed time.
I think he's on borrowed time too.
So we'll have to see what happens there.
But don't get me wrong, love Sheamus.
Oh, of course, yeah, me too.
For story purposes, I don't understand why he won this match.
No, I don't understand either. To me, it just made no sense. But other than that, though, what do you think Raw is good? Raw, like, what do you think?
Um, I'll go like this.
Almost there.
Yeah, like
I think it was about like
it wasn't like a super show. Like
no, it wasn't
you need to
this,
go
but
back and watch this show.
it's kind of
It's
like
not
this.
like I feel indifferent, but
No,
like right in the middle.
I think I think there's certain segments you should go back and watch the CM Punk Drew McIntyre promo stuff. That was a lot of fun. Although I really like how Punk didn't mention like some of the stuff that he really put over how the fans have really made WWE much better and how they've really made it they're the reason why they're so well and so popular, why this wrestling is so great right now. I really like the fact how he mentioned how people did bring him like little next like races they won. His popularity right now is astounding, considering where we were like a year ago with CM Punk.
Not wrong.
Like considering we were a year ago, like we were in we were in that Rogers Center for Forbidden Door in Toronto, and the boos were immense for CM Punk.
It's almost as bad as we booed Solo in Toronto.
Yeah,
Uh, anyways, it's like, um, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
well that's okay. Well, anyway, folks, that was Raw. That was the recap. Doug, take us on out of here. It's Monday. Time for you to bed.
Yeah. Um, thank you for listening. Be back on possibly, well, Andrew will be back on Thursday for sure.
I'll see
We
you Thursday.
we may have another special show in the works. I don't know if
Maybe
that'll be this week or next week.
it's in the works.
Um, but we may be starting a new series, so stay tuned for that. Uh, if you are listening to the audio of this and my smooth, velvety voice, uh, why don't you head on over to YouTube and you can see my ugly ass face wearing tie dye like I'm fucking Spike Dudley. Um, and if you are on YouTube right now, why don't you head over to Spotify and you don't have to look at my ugly mug and tie dye t shirt. You can just listen to my smooth, velvety voice.
Absolutely.
Until then, find the show, DA Sports Podcast on Instagram, DA Sports Pod on Twitter. He's A 1982 on Instagram, Andrew at DA Sports on TikTok. I'm D Lions 1991 on Twitter, and we'll catch you down the road.